What's up, people? Welcome back to the channel. Okay, this one's just gonna be chill, lay back. Not really gonna take it too serious. Just want to kind of get out my thoughts about the current meta that we're in. So if you don't want to hear, it's all good. But if you want to kind of like, I guess get someone else's perspective on, like what they feel about certain things, and go and just stick around. If you like what like what we do here, we do market watches, pack openings. We do discussion videos like this. We do investment reviews. We do also a lot of little small things. There's a lot of other things that I want to try. I want to try some live videos and also some more funny videos that I got planned out for this weekend when I go out to the local. So if you like what's going on here, please feel free to like, subscribe. If not, it is all cool. Let's go ahead and get into it. I just got a couple of cards up here. I don't, I'm not gonna sit there and do all the whole theatrics because like I said, want to kind of get to the point. So the point of what I'm trying to say of this meta, to be honest, is I like it. I like this meta. It's not like perfect in any way, but it does have it has a lot of stuff that I could deal with as a Yu-Gi-Oh player. And I guess the thing that I mean by that is there's some metas that you're forced to either use certain cards or play certain type of ways, but it just doesn't feel the best. Like, it's like you have to play shifter to counter certain decks, and not every deck could play shifter, so you kind of are forced to play, oh, well, I have to play Flaunderies, or I have to play this kind of deck. I can't just play, like Sorcerer, or Branded or something, and also play shifter because I need my own grave. So it kind of puts you in a spot to where you had to play tier 0 your elements to kind of combat your elements, or you had to play something that could play under shifter, or it really limited the kind of decks that you kind of were allowed to play. Kind of also similar to a format like Dragon Ruler, to where Dragon Ruler is just so strong to where you either play Dragon Ruler or you lose. Or yeah, and there's some people that say, well, also you had the Priestess. It's like, yeah, well, they were a contender, and they were there, but they weren't as consistent as the Dragon Rulers. So like, it was more like if you were that guy with that deck, then yeah, you could go up against Dragon Rulers. But for the most part, you were not that guy, and you were just not gonna go ahead and you were not going to go ahead and just beat Dragon Ruler, every single time you played it with the Priestess Spellbook deck. So I don't want to get it too on. The thing that I'm trying to say, like, with this format is I do like it. It does have a little bit of flaws, and I guess the main flaw that I wanted to address of it is you do need that card. Like, you very much need, like, you need that card at that at that right time in certain situations. Not every situation forces you to have that card, but this is very much you need to have the kaiju, or you need to have the lava golem. If you're going up against like a Kashtira, you need to have like the Denko Sekka, or the board, or like the back row destroying, or like the Hey Trunade to bounce it back, to go up against some of these control strategies like Labyrinth or Rafflesia. And there's also with the sense of having lava golems. You need like the board breaker cards if you're playing something like Sword Soul, to kind of they do put up some really good strong boards too. And then if you're playing Branded, it's kind of it's a little more difficult, because if you destroy their stuff, you don't necessarily get rid of everything, and then they have their Branded in red place. So it is very much a format to where you do need you do need like the right card. Like, if you open your hand and you don't have any way to kind of combat the board, especially if you go up against Kashtira and they put up a lot of stuff, or even Sprite. Like, even Sprite's a good option right now, to where they put up a really good oppressive board, and if you don't get that board break to get rid of some of those negates, or if you don't get a lava golem or sphere mode to really blow some of those negates out, then you will lose to like boards like that. So that is the flaw of this format, because every format has their flaw. But what you get in return is the ability to play for the most part, play the deck you want. If you want to play a combo deck, you could play a combo deck. It's just, like, you have to watch out for the, you still got to watch out for everything. But the format is in a way that, like, if you're willing to play like the certain, if you're willing to, like I said, if you're willing, like, to main deck certain outs, then yeah, you could play a combo deck. If you want to play the best deck in the format, you can play the best deck in, best deck in the format, and you could have a decent time. But you could also play control strategies like, Labyrinth, Trap Tricks, or even Runic. You could play these control strategies that work. Like, like I said, if Kashtira hits you with that, 7 to 9 zone lock, it's a, different story. But these decks are also built in a way to where you could run those like Kaiju and main deck Lava Golem and those kind of board breakers to where you don't have to worry about it. So like I said, it is a problem that you have to run those certain cards, but a lot of decks are built in a way to where it isn't the worst thing in the world to be hit with, well, not to be hit, but to have to take that hit and be like, oh man, I really have to main deck Lava Golem. But that's not the end of the world. Like, it's like, okay, well, that's it doesn't really, hurt me, opposed to where if you play like some kind of combo deck and you need every single slot to like combo off, and it's like you can't afford to run, like Lava Golems, or if you're playing like some type of like, tier 2 strategy that, like, that really needs all its slots to run all these different cards. And okay, yeah, maybe you can't play, okay, maybe you can't play, can't play Lava Golem there. But a lot of these decks are built in a way to where you could still run their core strategy, and you could run the key cards to, like, to pretty much blow everything out. Like, even with, like, this one, like, there's there's enough in the meta to where everything has enough checks, which I guess is also another thing that I like, to where you kind of have the clear best deck, which is Kashtira, but at the same time it isn't so overwhelming to where you just can't win. You can't win without Kashtira. Like, you could win with the other stuff, but everything's also just so checked. Like, you have Hey Chunade and Denko Seka. These are cards that, like, then this is also on top of like Twin Twister, Cosmic Cyclone, and Harpy's Feather Duster and Lightning Storm. These are on top of those cards. You have kind of you have like other ways to kind of go about to, like, stunning these cards out. Like, you could play Denko Seka to keep them from activating things, or you could play Hey Chune to bounce their set cards back, instead of, because a lot of time they're going to have them protected by either a Lord of Heavenly Prison, or they'll have some type of monster protecting them. You could bounce it back with Hey Chune. So there's a lot of checks to a lot of the cards. There's a lot of checks to a lot of, like, the different, like I said, the different decks in the meta. You also have kind of surprise options. Like, you have like like, you have regular Runic, which is still, like, it isn't one of the best control strategies, but it is a strategy where if you don't respect the matchup and if you don't watch what's going on, you will take an L to Runic. Trust me, I love running Runic, and, like, it's like a lot of people just get caught off guard by it. And like, there's just, like, kind of like decks like that kind of just like could come in and just kind of like swoop up and, like, take some wins. So I really enjoy what's going on here, because you could sit there and you could take Yu-Gi-Oh like super seriously, and you could run like Sword Soul, Branded, Kashtira, Sprite. You could run all those decks and just hardcore get into it and just, hey, have a good time. But you could also kind of lay back, and then you could run Trap Tricks or Labyrinth and just run a more chiller deck and kind of take that deck and kind of cruise in and get your wins. And then you could also kind of sneak in and then be like, okay, I'm going to run Runic or Runic Naturia, which is like another, that's another variant, which is like very, that, oh my god, I played a mirror match with that, and we ended up tying it. It's a crazy deck to play, and it's like you could come in with kind of these strategies like that. I also see a lot of people talk about, like, they want to try the Therions, and, like, the Therions, I haven't seen them at my locals, but I have heard of people kind of trying the Therions out. There's also people that still try, the Tri Brigade. There's a lot of little rogue options that can work, but when it comes to, like, the main bubble, which I would say would be, like the Trap Tricks deck, the Labyrinth, Kashtira, Branded, and Sword Soul, and then maybe a little bit of Runic. Let's just, like, throw Runic kind of like on the out, like, I wouldn't say on the outside looking in, but he's like, the last deck in that little bubble. All those decks could very much compete with each other, even though there is a clear number one at Kashtira Riceheart. All of them have a good amount of checks, especially with, the Lava Golems. All of them for the most part, could actually run the lava golems and incorporate kaijus, because there's a lot of different versions of kaijus that like people don't realize. Like, you don't just have to run Gamma Seal, you could run the other kaijus that actually work with the deck you're running and stuff with synergy. So there very much is a way for you to incorporate a lot of the like counter cards in your main deck to kind of go up against it, which is kind of why I think this format. There's also a lot of things, it isn't just for that, but I think just that is the reason why I like it, is because even though you need that certain card, you need to make sure you have the this card to counter this certain situation. It isn't like, oh, I only have that in my side deck, or oh, I forgot to bring that. No, there's almost no excuse. Like, it's very easy to put some of these cards in your main deck, which open up slots in your side deck to make sure you are ready for every matchup. So I don't know. And then also too, like, there's a lot of overlap. Like, a lot of the cards that stop Labyrinth and the Trap Tricks deck, also Runic to a certain extent, they all overlap, so they could really help stop each other. Lava, like things like Lava Golem and Board Breakers are what stop Kastira, Sword Soul, and Branded, to an extent. So like a lot of those kind of overlap. So the fact that like the counters to all these decks overlap in each other is also very much a plus. So it isn't like someone has to go out and like, okay, I have to get this for this deck and this for this deck and this for this. No, you could have like Lava Golem and Kaijus that'll take out one half, and then have your Harpy's Feather Storm, your Twin Twisters, your Cosmics, your Heychunades, and your Denko Sekkas, whichever combination of that you want, and that could take out the other kind of section of the meta. So this right here is really, really good. Like, I really like it. I also like that you have the clear best deck, but it's also not super dominant. It's just not. It's good, and you're able, it's dominant enough to respect it, but not dominant enough to where everyone hates it and they think that they need to get rid of it. That's pretty much just my my honest personal opinion. I understand everyone has a different opinion, so like if you agree with me, let me know down below. If not, it's all good. Let me know your opinion down below too. I would like to know. I want to get a different perspective. Everyone has. That's it for the video, guys. Peace out. Catch you in the next one. Oh yeah, I got 2 open slots. Please send me some ideas for what you guys want me to put right here. This is not permanent. I just want to put it here to have some kind of visual. I think next time I'm gonna put way more cards. This is way too empty. I just want to throw something up real quick because I was kind of having I was just like having just a moment of like brain fog where I didn't know what I wanted to do for my 3rd video, and I was like, oh duh, well, let me just talk about the meta. So, all right, guys, like I said, send me some comments to tell me let me some ideas so I could put 2 more weapons in these slots. If not, that's it, guys. Peace out, and I'll catch you in the next one.